Hello friends, we haven't done a video on a new Porsche for a while, so let's talk about a few gripes I have with modern Porsche 911s and see what you think. And then we'll talk about the car that changes everything, for me at least anyway. To get the base Porsche 911 model, the Carrera, equipped up to just the level of a high-end Ford, you will need to put your hand in your pocket and fork out quite some of your hard-earned funds. A minimum of $830 for any other paint choice than non-metallic black or white. Yes, there's no longer even Guards red or some version of yellow as standard. 19-inch wheels with 20s at the back as standard, but who's going to choose those? Minimum of $1,790 to get the 2021 sizes, and then another $190 just to get the bloody centre wheel caps painted. Just partial leather seats are standard. Not that I'm a fan of using unnecessary animal products, and I wish they'd put the Panamera cloth seats in the 911. But if you do want leather, then that's another $690 at a minimum of $2,320 for electric memory seats. Yeah, otherwise pull your own bloody seat forward. $1,550 for a bloody sunroof. $1,040 for clear brake light lenses instead of red, $320 to have your steering wheel heated, and $1,730 for an adaptive cruise control. So add that little lot up, and that's an additional $9,770 to a $120,100 car. Remember, back in 2019, before the pandemic, this car had a standard MSRP of $93,950. Then we get to the stuff that has really made Porsche's reputation. You know the stuff, the funky paint colours, the materials used in the interior, the cool stuff. Yeah, guess where this is going? This is where it gets really expensive. So if you want your car to look like a classic Porsche of old, then here's the bad news. Paint to sample, where you get access to a broader palette of colours. You don't get to sample the colour that you like at all. And some of Porsche's historic colours like Gulf Blue, Pure Green, Grello, if that's your thing, Mexico Blue and so on, is $14,190. Perhaps some Carrera classic wheels so you can imitate the Fuchs wheels of old, $2,440. Standard red leather is an optional $4,530, but replace the dashboard of that red leather with black leather, then that changes it to $4,960. Want something called club leather, which in the Carrera at least doesn't include the houndstooth or pepita, as Porsche calls it, cloth centres, then that's $7,000. And don't get me started on deviant stitching, because the sky's the bloody limit on seats, honestly. Another $6,900 for the Aero Kit look, a sports exhaust on your Porsche sports car, $2,960, coloured seatbelts, $550, so add all that up, and that gets you a Porsche that isn't a bland cookie cutter car, and gets you some of Porsche's heritage, but it comes to an additional $31,570. But if you add the cost of bringing the car up to the level of a high-end Ford, to the special Porsche bits that we talked about, then that's an additional $39,550 on top of the standard car's $120,100, making it $159,650 for a standard bloody Carrera. To put that in context, when I drove the brand new Carrera 4S in 2020 in my video, that car cost its owner $152,000 as spec'd. It was not a base car either. Something's going on here and it's not good for Porsche's customers. Porsche has monetized its heritage on the 911, and we're also supposed to accept that they're in short supply, when 5 years ago dealers here in the US had them lined up on their lots. Our small local dealer regularly had 8 or 10 of them, brand new, ready to go. Now you're lucky if there's one of them on the lot. What is going on with our favourite brand here? Well, there are two large howevers. Number one is that there's still the very best sports car available on the market today. And when you compare them with the Ferraris, Astons, Lambos and so on, then they are still exceptional value. And secondly, and the purpose of this video, there is the Carrera T. Porsche has just revealed the new 992.2 Carrera T. You might remember my video of the 991 version of the car, and I loved it then, but here is why it will be a classic one day and why it stands out. Porsche has packaged some of its heritage products into the asking price and made a sports car that is very likely the best value sports car on the market. The T stands for Touring, so you can already tell people you have a 911 Touring, even if it isn't quite the GT3 version, but it kind of is, in a more competitively priced format. It's designed to be light, so no rear seats, reduced insulation, and lightweight glass. Porsche are also giving you a sports car with the sports exhaust. Yes, it has that as standard, instead of charging you the aforementioned $2,960 in the standard Carrera. Not just that though, you get bigger wheels and they are stunning in the standard grey. The Sport Chrono package, which helps you to rev match, an addictive quality, believe me. See my video on the Carrera I tested just last year in Hawaii. Sport seats, although still not the memory version, a manual gearbox with, and get this, a wooden gear knob. See, Porsche, we're easily pleased. We're easily pleased. Yes, bloody please. I'd like that. There's more though. You get plaid seats as standard. Yes! Who wants leather when you can have these beauties? You also get Porsche's PASM Sport suspension as standard, which lowers the car by 10 mils and has shorter springs. Rear axle steering, and PTV, which uses the rear diff and the brakes to keep you more effectively on the straight and narrow. The icing on the cake though, that's frosting for you Americans, are the Carrera T packages. Outside you get genital blue wheels and decals, including the rear badging, which is reminiscent, to my eyes at least, and maybe at most, to the first ever 996 GT3 RS. And inside, if you choose the interior Carrera T package, you will get genital blue panelling on the dash and even stitching on the seats. Those packages cost $2,130 for the exterior package, those blue wheels, and $3,030 for the interior package. If I were buying one, I'd add memory seats at another $3,030, and then I'd leave it at that. So my car would be $144,185 versus what we talked about earlier for the standard Carrera of $159,650. It doesn't need anything else, and that's unusual for Porsche these days, and very welcome. For this kind of money, I need a car to make me feel good about what I've done with my money. I've been irritated at Porsche for monetizing everything. I don't want to feel ripped off. I want to feel like I'm driving a car that I can connect with and a heritage that I can connect with without paying through the nose for it. This car does that, and it's an instant classic, I think, and the gem of the current range. As ever, let me have your comments though. Put them down here and let me know if you agree with me. For now though, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.